This video is going to show you our best mouse proofing that we have found for the RV. It has been a great solution, so I'm very excited to tell you today about grid guards. We are installing the grid guard system, and you can see what it looks like as it goes around. So simple, a child can do it. And grid guard shipped them in these boxes. There's 10 pieces in each box. The tiles are a 1-foot tile. So this is what they look like. Has a nice little arrow. All the arrows point in the same direction. That lets you know that the tiles are placed correctly. And then these are going to let you align tile to tile, and they interlock, and I'll show you what that looks like. So the first thing we had to do was measure out how many tiles we would need, and I'll go through those dimensions in a bit when I pull them up, because I don't remember them off the top of my head of what they are. But you need a lot to go around the Jayco, and then we're actually going to have it also go around our Gladiator as well. And you need to prepare a little bit of a base. So if you have concrete, that's fine. You can let them just sit on the concrete. But as you can see, we have gravel. Our RV is parked outside, and so we just kind of cleared a little bit of the gravel so we would just have the dirt underneath. And this is what the tiles look like. So this is the 12-foot tile, and you can see my kids have already pressed them together. They just interlock right here. This little kind of rubber plasticky stuff interlocks right here, and then I'll come through, and I've been putting the little metal strap pieces that go from here to here. You can see on these particular holes they have a threading in there, and that's because a screw is going to go in here, bridging one tile to the other. And you do that again right here. Very clear and easy to see where that happens. And then when you go to the point where you're connecting two more tiles that go in another direction, the sides of them also have those arrows to show you, and you can see the threading right here, and you can use that to lock tile to tile. And those little threading pieces, or those bridge pieces, I guess they call them a little bridge connector. It's just this little piece right here. It's about 2 inches long, and you just have the screw on one side and the screw on the other. Sometimes I've been holding the bottom of the tile to give it a little resistance so that the threading can latch, and then you just screw that together. Really simple. So we're putting this together and trying to do this before that rainstorm comes over here, because we don't want to be doing this out in a lightning storm. Okay, so we have now had the rat mat on here for a few days. We finished it up over the weekend, and you can see at the front here, you can get these little pieces that snap onto the edge, and it's supposed to allow you to drive on this easier so you're not breaking the piece. I hope that really holds up with our 37,000 pound RV, but it's supposed to be able to handle the weight. If you get close enough, you probably can't hear it, but you can hear a little bit of like a pop, and that's how I know it's on. We generally are always keeping it on, and we've only had it out here a few days, but we already found 2 dead crickets on the mat, and then we found this guy, dead lizard. He was flipped over on the other side on the mat. I need to move him all the way over, but you do want to keep it cleared, so you want to be checking it kind of every day if you can. Just come out here and make sure there's nothing on it, and because it can cause it to kind of short and not be running anymore. So I think it's definitely going to work. If it's a strong enough electrical current that it actually can kill the lizard, then it certainly can do that to the mice. Apparently the mice will hear it, and that's supposed to be enough. They can kind of sense the electricity to it, and so they don't even want to come onto it. But if they do start to come onto it, they get that little bit of a shock. And apparently if they lay straight on the mat for too long, they'll die. So I think this really is going to do the trick, and finally fix our miserable mice problems out here in the desert. So we say thumbs up. I think it's worth it, saving all the electrical damage.
Okay, so we ended up ordering like 102 tiles, which is a little bit more than they have for the RV set. And we have that around the RV just to give us a little bit more spacing. And then we ordered extra ones to potentially put around the tires, since that's really the only space that the mice could kind of come up. And so we thought we might add more around the tiles, but we're not sure if we really need it. So we're gonna wait and see if we need it, because we can use those for the Gladiator. We've decided to not attach the Gladiator on an additional side of the RV setup. Instead, we're going to park the Gladiator closer to the house and get it its own power supply. The power supplies are about $200, and then it's about $30 for each of these tiles. So the RV system, for us to do the RV system and the Gladiator, get the extra power supply, it's about $4,000. So just so you know, in terms of pricing, what you're looking at, gridguard.com is the company where you go to it. This is not a promotion. We are getting nothing. I wish we were, but we are not getting anything from this. I'm just telling you about this because I feel like this is actually really going to work for us, and I just want to share it with you guys. And the last thing that I wanted to tell you is that Jeremy has gone out with his voltmeter just to check the current, and he does find that as you get further away from the power supply, that current is lower than it is right where it's very strong, right where the power supply is first connecting, and it seems to weaken as you get around the rig. And so we don't know if maybe we just need another power supply for the size of the system, or if that's just how it's going to be. I don't think it really matters, because the lizard we found dead was on the other side away from the power supply, because we have the power going over where our power cord's at, and it seems to be enough that it still shocked that lizard. So I think it's probably fine, but just so you know, there is a little bit of a difference between the tiles. Okay, hope this was useful for you. Thanks for watching.